Good morning, it's Tuba Billy. It is nasty day. It's like drizzling mist and just yuckiness. No good. But I just went and voted. We've got the Georgia runoff election here for senator between Warnock and Walker. Oh, my music's dying. But yeah, I mean, we gotta go out and go vote. That's the only way that your voice can be heard. You know, even though a lot of people don't have confidence in our election systems right now, that doesn't mean you just give up. It means you got to fight even harder. And the harder you fight, the harder the opposition's going to whine. Oh, gosh. I had a comment the other day asking, you know, saying I should do a commentary on alternatives to the Constitution, like Trump is suggesting. I was like, well, I don't recall hearing Trump ever saying, you know, we need a new Constitution. But I have been kind of out of the loop for the past several days. So I just Googled it real quick. You know, Trump destroyed Constitution, and of course, I mean CNN, AP News, Vox, not Fox, Vox, VOX, all the, you know, all the typical left-leaning sources. What do we got going here? The left-leaning sources, you know, said Trump wants to destroy the Constitution. It's like, huh, interesting. So after about, well, I don't know, 30 seconds of perusing the headlines, and my visor is all crummy because of the weather. It took me all of like 30 seconds to kind of come to a conclusion, saying, oh, Trump was talking about elections. He wants to take more control over the elections, which, you know, I don't agree with. I think that should be left up to the states. However, there are states like, you know, Pennsylvania, Arizona, that have been royally jacking it up. But this is where the bigger government issue has come in a lot of times. Some states do better than others, and so the federal government makes some across the board guidelines, laws, rules, whatever. And so that just is increasing the size of the government. So now he wants a federal election. I don't know if it'd be a federal election board or whatever. Like I said, did about 30 seconds of reading on this because, you know, it's been kind of busy. But here's the thing about coming to a conclusion of truth. Yeah, my visor is fogging up. That had nothing to do with coming to the conclusion of the truth. Is to know where you stand. I stand with the Constitution. The Constitution as written, and all of the amendments. Especially the first 10, you know, the Bill of Rights. That number 10 says that anything not given to the federal government in the Constitution And anything that's not prohibited by it is left up to the states. Number 9 says left up to the people too. But it's left up to the states to determine what is best for them. Elections are left up to the states. And, you know, despite how abysmal some of these states are doing on their elections, that's how it's set up. Unfortunately, you just gotta, if you don't like that state, you can move. Might be harder for some than others, but yeah, you can move. You gotta be around like-minded people. But I remember a day when we had election day. It was an election day. Everyone went to the polls on that day and cast your paper ballot, and it was counted that day. You got the results in the evening news. Now we have all of this electronic ballot stuff, and we still can't get them counted. You got Maricopa County as, you know, a quarter of their machines go down on election day. It's ridiculous. And then it takes them weeks to count the votes. It leaves a lot of room for foul play. A lot of room. I mean, it's hard to fake a paper ballot. And if you're mailing out all those ballots to everybody, then, well, yeah, you can fake those. I saw where one guy, I forget what state it was in, that the state mails out a paper ballot, a mail-in ballot, to everyone on their voter list, even if they've moved. You know, they haven't updated their voter list. So he was saying that at their house they received ballots for other people that used to live there. And of course, them being honest, they tore them up and threw them away. But who's to say someone else that's not as honest could do that. And of course, there's a lot that's been coming out about Twitter. Elon Musk dumped the Twitter files showing how Biden's crew was messaging back and forth with Twitter people, basically saying, hey, here's some posts we want you to take down. And they took them down and replied, handled. That is absolutely horrifying. That is destroying the First Amendment, our freedom of speech, because they say it's misinformation. Well, who is the arbiter of truth? I certainly don't want, in using Elizabeth Warren's own words, one man in a dark room deciding who can say what. Elizabeth Warren said that. Granted, she was saying that about Elon Musk, determining who can say what, even though he is a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist. He's allowing all people to speak. And then I saw a poll, I forget where it was on the news. I think I was like in a store or something. They just had the news on it. Happened to catch this. It said 1 in 6 Biden voters said that they would have changed their votes if they would have known how much Biden was colluding with these social media platforms. 1 in 6. That adds up to, I mean, just doing quick, dumb, being on a motorcycle, not having any calculator math, and not having any references, but, you know, let's just say 81 million votes. 1 in 6 of those changed their vote. Let's just say, you know, 1 in 10 of those changed their vote. That comes out to, I don't know, a few million votes, maybe? And there were only a few 100,000 vote difference between Trump and Biden. So there's another case where it would have changed the outcome of the election. Potentially. I guess I gotta put that potentially in there. So we've got the Hunter Biden laptop, where 17% of people who elected for Trump said that they would not have voted for Trump. They either, or they wouldn't have voted for Biden. Either 17% said they would not have voted for Biden, or they just would not have voted. That would have changed the outcome. Now we've got 1 in 6 saying that if they had known about the censorship from the administration, then they wouldn't have voted for him. So now we're looking at a real possibility of election interference, not only from Twitter, but from the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, when they were campaigning from his mama's basement over in Scranton, Ohio, or wherever he says his daddy grew up as a coal miner, which turns out to be a lie. Just nothing they say is true. Everything is a lie. And you have to look no further than when they were lying about his dogs. So Biden dogs, the report came out that they bit a Secret Service agent. And so they took the dogs back home to Delaware. Well, then it turns out that it wasn't just one Secret Service agent. There were several incidences of the dogs being aggressive and biting handlers, agents, other White House staff, and they lied about it. If they're willing to lie about the dogs, who's to say they're not gonna lie about inflation, lie about censorship? And gosh, this press secretary, Kareem, whatever her name is, gosh, she is horrible. Peter Doocy, man, he knows what buttons to push with her to get her in a blubbering mess. But I hope you voted. If you're in Georgia, I hope you voted. Doesn't matter which way you vote. Well, it does for the outcome, for the security of their nation, but as long as you vote, that's what's important. To be excellent to each other. Tuba Billy signing out. God be with you till we meet again.